It might be the biggest crowd ever assembled at Bilowila's tiny airstrip. But this is no ordinary homecoming.
Tamil asylum seeker family has finally returned after more than 4 years in immigration detention.
This is a community I love, and it's this part of it that I love. We share in each other's successes, we go through tough times together, and I think we all need some good news at the moment in this world.
The Nadesalingam family, also known as the Murugappan family, has become the face of Australia's tough border protection policies. Now, after years of anguish in detention and a relentless community campaign, they have returned to their adopted home.
So happy. Thank you.
5 years ago, few were familiar with the family of four, or the sleepy central Queensland town of Bilowila.
But everybody knows what it is now. They just say, oh, that's just where the family comes from.
The ordeal began in March 2018, when the local family was removed from their home during a dawn raid and taken into immigration detention in Melbourne.
Without a word to anyone, without any warning, they were just snatched.
I do remember just that feeling in my gut of, oh no, this is not good.
Tamil asylum seekers Priya and Nades came to Australia separately by boat in 2012 and 2013. Both say they were fleeing persecution in Sri Lanka. They met and married in Australia and had 2 girls, Kopika and Tarnika, settling in Bilowila. Nades worked at the local abattoir and Priya did volunteer work. But the couple's bid for refugee status was rejected, and when their bridging visas expired, immigration officials moved in.
So the community then sort of were like, what can we do? How can we help? And that's when we organised our first vigil.
Well, I was just thinking, what if we did...
Family friends Bronwyn Dendel, now running for Labor in the upcoming Queensland by-election, and Angela Fredericks launched a campaign to publicise the family's story.
And then it was pretty much overnight, it just exploded.
Before long, the Home to Billow campaign was making national headlines.
We all know what it's like to be starting out. We know what it's like to be working long hours, to be newlyweds, to have young children. That really got people starting to go, what if this happened to us?
Just little Queenslanders, the girls, I think that's what got most of the people, couldn't understand that you could be born here in Australia and then sent away as well.
An attempt to deport the family to Sri Lanka in 2019 sparked widespread outrage. Then Home Affairs Minister Peter Dutton said the case had been comprehensively reviewed and there were no grounds for permanent resettlement.
And if you do that, you end up with thousands of people here. The boats will restart.
As the plane was taxiing, out of the Melbourne airport, I just remember sitting on my kitchen floor crying, thinking that it hadn't worked, that we'd failed.
A last-ditch legal bid turned the plane around. The sticking point, youngest daughter Tarnika's refugee claim had yet to be assessed. The family was taken to Christmas Island, where they remained for 2 years.
Your love is helping me and my family stay strong.
Shortly after 7:30 visited the family in offshore detention, Tarnika was flown to a Perth hospital with a blood infection.
Please help us to get her out of detention.
Following her release, the family remained in the Perth community with visa conditions tying them to the city. Throughout it all, Angela Fredericks has been a voice of support.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, I'm Nades.
Above all, I needed them to know that they were loved and they were never going to be forgotten.
Then, the morning after the federal election, there was one call that was particularly special.
Thank you, Bilo. Thank you, Australia.
I got to say the words, "You are going to be coming home." And just the emotion in that moment, everything stood still.
Despite supporting the Morrison government's hardline border policy on boat arrivals, Labor made an election pledge to allow the family to return to Bilowila. saying intervention was warranted because the young girls were born in Australia.
This has been an exercise that I think is something that Australia can't be proud of.
Happy birthday to you. 2 days after arriving back in Biloela, Tarnika is turning 5. She's marking the occasion as most local kids do, with a birthday in the park.
This is particularly a very special birthday because it is her first birthday, not in detention.
While the Nadesalingams have plenty to celebrate, some questions remain. The family is yet to receive permanent protection visas.
That application will go through, but I see no impediment to that occurring.
For now, the family is settling back into country life and reconnecting with the community that fought so hard for their return.
I hope it has served to counteract some stereotypes about country Queenslanders, because really country Queenslanders are very welcoming.
And I love that the rest of Australia has actually gotten to see that and can actually see that we are friendly people here in Queensland. We are easygoing, we do stick up for each other, and we are fiercely loyal.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.